All right, good evening. Everyone should be seeing my screen, and if you're on the webinar, if you can just type in the chat box that you can see my screen, I would appreciate it. And if you can see my screen, just type in the chat box that you see my screen. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you, I appreciate it. Excellent, excellent. All right, glad to have you all with us, and let's go ahead and get started. My name is Mark Hamlin, and I'd like to welcome you to this presentation tonight. We're going to be showing you how to raise money for any legitimate cause, and we're going to break it down so you can have a thorough understanding, and we're going to show you how to leverage this very dynamic platform that we've got here. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Mark Hamlin. I'll be your host, and tonight we're talking about crowdfunding. So what is crowdfunding exactly? Crowdfunding is the Internet's #1 newest, most exciting phenomenon and social trend for raising funds. It's the idea of passing a basket around a church with a large crowd of people being able to contribute small amounts of money, which combined meet the financial goals of any organization, group, or individual. I think that's about the easiest way of explaining it. Forbes magazine had a recent article, Crowdfunding is the Next Big Trend. That was August 2014. And Wikipedia defines crowdfunding as the practice of funding a project or venture by raising monetary contributions from a large number of people, typically via the Internet. And I think you can say that crowdfunding is the 21st century way of fundraising. Crowdfunding is a worldwide phenomenon that is now helping to make the dreams of people just like you and me come true every day, to the tune of $5.1 billion given to people to help them in 2013. It's estimated that over $15 billion was given last year, and the World Bank estimates over $96 billion in the next few years. So as a result, crowdfunding is now a powerful new global economy. It's pretty much mainstream now, a way for people to get funding. In 2013, Facebook and crowdfunding were neck and neck, with Facebook grossing $5.97 billion that year, and crowdfunding grossing over $5 billion. With crowdfunding reaching an estimated $15 billion in 2014, it has now outperformed Facebook by billions of dollars. Bigger than Facebook now, that's powerful. Powerful enough to fund any project, big or small, that you may desire. So if you're looking at my screen, you can see this gentleman, James Robinson. And James Robinson, to tell you the story a little bit, he was working a job in Detroit, and he was making less than $10 an hour. Well, unfortunately, his car broke down, and he could not afford to buy another car. So he walked back and forth to work 10 miles each way for over 13 years. His friends noticed it. They created a crowdfunding campaign on his behalf. The news media got a hold of it, publicized it all over the world, and if you're looking at my screen, you can see that in 1 month, he was given over $349,000 to help him. Well, needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, he got the car and a whole lot more. But here's the question. How many people did it take in order for him to raise that money? Well, if you're looking at my screen, you can see it took over 13,000 people. But it's amazing what crowdfunding can do for individuals. And perhaps you remember Natalie. Let me tell you Natalie's story. Natalie that loves to cook, and she began to cook and to sell her bakery items in the flea market. When she was able to raise enough money, she went out and purchased her shop. Well, unfortunately, her shop was located in Ferguson, and when they rioted, they looted her place. They destroyed her place. Well, she created a crowdfunding campaign, and people gave over $270,000 to help her rebuild her place, in fact, make it better than it was before the rioting. And you can see it took about 8,000 people and 4 months in order for her to raise that money. Now, here's another gentleman. His name is Kirby, and Kirby has his project on our website. The company I'm going to introduce you to today is called We Share Crowdfunding, and there's Kirby up there with his wife and by the airplane. Kirby loves to fly, and he wants to create an aviation school because that's what he loves to do. But in the Philippines, where he's from, 8 to 9 typhoons make landfall every year. And Kirby also wishes to raise funds for all the people who lost their homes back there. Kirby's real name is Sylvester, and with our platform, using our system I'm about to introduce you to tonight, he raised over $103,000 simply by referring 12 individuals to our concept, and he did it in 62 days. He was actually the first one to raise so much money so fast, and his donations are still coming in, and they're growing bigger every day. Now, here's another gentleman. This is Hector, and Hector lives in Detroit, actually in Chicago, and he lost his job as well, and his family became a one-income family. So they had to move from their two-bedroom apartment into the mother's basement because they could not afford the $850 on just the one income. So Hector went to his church. His church was doing a crowdfunding campaign because they wanted to establish a business and use the income from the business to support the ministry. So he donated $50 to the church's platform. And then he did what he was taught to do, which was to spread the word. Let people know that you found a way to get the funding for your house. The great thing is that it's not a grant, it's not a loan, and the money does not have to be repaid. In fact, the money is coming through crowdfunding. Do you know anyone who needs funding for anything? So he went out with a message, and within 90 days, he raised over $27,000 to close on a beautiful four-bedroom house that you see him and his family standing in front of. The interesting thing about this story is that he raised $5,000 within the first a project on aspiration that's close to your heart. And what is your dream? Perhaps you want to start or expand a business. You want to build or renovate a church. You want to create a project to make a better world. Maybe you want to fund home improvements. You want to pay for college loans, pay for a wedding. Maybe you want to buy a new car or home, create a retirement fund, or simply pay off some loans, bills, and mortgages. Perhaps you just want to become debt-free. Well, these are all reasons to do a crowdfunding campaign. Now, when you look at most crowdfunding campaigns in general, they have three things in common. First of all, they charge you a fee or a percentage of your donations for using their platform. They require you to do all your own marketing. This means that you have to contact hundreds of thousands of people through your own efforts to ask for contributions. And they all have time limits. In many cases, if you don't reach your funding goal, they will actually return the donations to the donators. So that is called direct funding, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to explain to you how direct funding works so that you can properly know how to utilize it. First of all, you must have a project, and you have to write that project and choose the platform or the website that's going to host it for you. Then it becomes your responsibility to do your own promoting, as we just saw. Now, the projects that raise the most money, they already have a large database of supporters, or people who know, like, and trust them. They have money for advertising. They have a team of people helping them to promote one singular project. And finally, if they have a media-worthy project and they're lucky, they just might get media attention like James Robinson did. Unfortunately, most projects don't have these resources, and only a small percentage of people and projects actually get funded. GoFundMe, 80% of the projects get very little money, if any money at all. So what makes us different? Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, with us, direct funding is free. And because you took the time out of your schedule to get on this webinar, when you get back in contact with the person who referred you, we're going to give this to you entirely for free as our gift to you. First of all, we do not charge you to host your project. We do not collect your donations. They go directly to you. You receive 100% of the donations, and although you have to do your own promoting, all the donations go directly to you with no waiting for your money. So this is our gift to you. You can crowdfund for free. People donate directly to you. You get 100% of the money, and there's no waiting for the money. But with direct funding, for the most part, you're pretty much on your own, and there are still some drawbacks to that. You have to continually go out and find people who will donate to you. But today, we're going to share with you a revolutionary new way to accelerate your funding efforts for any campaign that you may have. And in the process, help many others do the same. Because it's one thing for you and I to get to where we want to be, but it's another thing when we can show someone else how to get to where they want to be. That's true greatness. Wouldn't you agree? This is called accelerated funding, and I want to illustrate to you the benefits of this type of crowdfunding. First of all, you can receive instant donations, cash donations, compounded donations, matching donations, continuous donations, infinity donations, international donations, and you can also help others to get donations. So before we go any further, what I want to do is to help you to have the right mindset concerning what we call cooperative crowdfunding. If you take a look back in the history, you're going to find this concept called cooperative economics. And of course, we all know that we had the mortgage meltdown in our country not long ago. And in fact, a lot of people also lost their retirement savings. They lost a significant portion of that, which was really terrible. But when we look at this, we do a little research, we find that mortgages have only existed in the United States since the 1930s. Before the 1930s, there were no mortgages. So the question arises, how did people build homes back then? Well, they simply came together and they helped each other build homes and bonds. So the way it worked, ladies and gentlemen, is that you would first join the community to help someone else build their house if all you could do was to cook. You did whatever you could to participate. And when your time came around, the community would come over and they would help you build your house. This was one of the ways that people came together to help each other when they did not have the finances. Now, this concept goes back into ancient history. In fact, it's still taking place in the United States today. The Amish do it. The Mennonites do it. Some religions do it when they build churches. And then, of course, as I mentioned, it goes back into ancient history, even before the Israelites. Now, here's another concept that you should think about. It's called social finance. This is called ROSCA, which stands for Rotating Savings and Credit Association. It's better known around the world as the Poor Man's Bank. And around the world, this is how this works. Participants would make regular contributions to a fund, which is distributed in whole or in part to each contributor in rotation. So let's say, for example, you have 5 people. They all agreed to put $1,000 into a fund each month for 5 months. That means there would be a total of $5,000 in the fund. And each person, in turn, would take the entire $5,000, go out and start a business, or to fund the business. So this concept was not based on your credit report. It was based on your social credit, which is your ability to keep your word and to be a man or woman of integrity. Now, if you failed to do so, the word would spread around the community and no one would work with you in this manner again. It was all about doing business with honor. And this concept has been going on around the world for years. For example, in Latin America, it's called tandas. In Mexico, it's called cadenas. In West Africa and the Caribbean, it's called susu. In Asia, it's called wi. In Brazil, it's called quinila. And in India and Pakistan, it's called ko. And so if you live in the United States, you'll notice different groups come into the country and establish themselves economically in business. But what you don't see in many cases, they're able to do that because they simply come together and they support each other economically. Do you think maybe that might help us here in America if people simply came together and supported each other? Could that possibly be a solution for the middle class today? Well, that's what we want to talk about today, solutions, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce you to the concept of cooperative crowdfunding. This is a way where people work together in similar ways to create wealth and inspire lives for each other. Now, Napoleon Hill said this. He said, it's literally true that you can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. Would you agree with that? Rather than doing it by yourself, paycheck to paycheck. Can you imagine trying to build your house by yourself? The first problem you're going to have is who's going to hold the other end of the board. But if you could just have one person to help you, you can accelerate your progress more than 100%. Well, it's the same way when it comes to creating wealth, because together, ladies and gentlemen, we're wealthy. But individually, we struggle to make it paycheck to paycheck. Yes, that's right. Now you can raise unlimited funds via crowdfunding for your favorite project, dream, or personal aspiration. And in the process, share it forward to help other family, friends, and business connections do the same. Truly, this is the spirit of people helping people. So I want to read a couple of disclaimers to you. First of all, cooperative crowdfunding is not a business or an income opportunity. Our donation distribution formula is purely based on crowdfunding, and we make no claims or guarantees of the contributions that your project will receive. Each individual's project success depends largely on his or her commitment, desire, and personal efforts. So the amount of money that an individual or a group organization raises is entirely dependent on their commitment, their desire, and their work ethic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, cooperative crowdfunding is referral-based. Once we join the community, we have a job, and that job is to spread the word. So this following example is not typical and is hypothetical. In the real world, it will never happen in this manner. Some project managers refer 5, some 2, some 1, and some none. But some will refer many more, so each situation is unique. Your total financial risk is only the initial donation you make to your referrer's project, which is non-refundable and a personal choice. In order to join our community, ladies and gentlemen, which is separate from direct funding, we're talking about cooperative crowdfunding, where we work together to support one another. In order to join our community, you must make a donation to the project of the individual or the organization that referred you. But here's the thing, it's just a one-time donation. You never have to go back in your pocket again. There are no monthly fees, there are no yearly fees, and the program is totally self-funding, as you're about to see right now. In this presentation, we just want to give you a taste of how it works. We have other presentations that go into more detail. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to our donation distribution formula. This is how we support one another through cooperative crowdfunding. Well, first of all, you should know that there are projects that are already a part of our community. And we're going to say that this first project, in fact, these are all real projects and real people. This is a gentleman who needs to raise $40,000 to $50,000 because he needs a new van for his son. His son is handicapped, and the current van is not working very well. So that's his project. The second project is a gentleman who has an after-school program. He actually services over 700 children at the school in his local city. But his bus needs some work and needs some repairs. So he's raising $28,000 to get another bus. This next project is a gentleman who wants to raise money so he can go out and teach people how to become financially independent. The next program is someone who wants to raise money to feed children in different parts of the world. And so you have several different programs here, and these are all projects that started before you within our community. So for you to join our community, you would make a one-time donation out of your pocket of $200 to the project of the person or the organization that referred you. And then within your first week, you're going to go out and spread the word to at least 10 individuals or organizations that need funding for one purpose or the other. So this is how it works. You go out and you refer 10. So here's you refer 5, right? You talk to 10, but you refer 5 that actually decide they want to join us. So the first one we're going to say is the sports team. And this particular sports team is connected with other teams, other leagues within the city. The second is a gentleman who wants to raise money to start a business. And then third is a young lady who wants to raise money to pay for college. She actually wants to graduate debt-free. Isn't that a novel idea? Then you have the lovely couple that wants to raise money for a wedding. And lastly, you have the aspiring author who wants to raise money to self-publish several of her own books. So you go out, you spread the word. What's the word? I found a way to get the funding for my project. The great thing is not a grant, it's not a loan, and no repayment is required. The money is coming through crowdfunding. Do you know anyone who needs funding for anything? So you join the community by making that donation to the project of the person who referred you. Then it's time for you to go to work, and you're going to go out and spread the word just like what I said. So in this case, this person referred 5 people. And each one of these individuals and organizations are going to donate $200 each to him. So what is 200 times 5? All right, you got it. That's $1,000. Now, how much of this money went to that individual? 100%. When you refer someone to our program, when they make that initial donation up to the first $200, 100% of it goes to your project. Pretty amazing, huh? All right. Now, you can go out and refer as many people and organizations as you want. It is unlimited, and it can go on forever and ever and ever. And when they make that first donation of $200, 100% of that money goes to you. But that's you working by yourself. We're talking about cooperative crowdfunding, where we work together to support the project with one another. So if you want to participate in that, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take a little bit of this $1,000 that you received, and you're going to donate it to the second project right here, number 2. Now, how much are you going to donate? You're going to donate $320. So where does the $320 come from? It came out of the $1,000 that you received. It doesn't come out of your pocket because you only have to go into your pocket one time. Ladies and gentlemen, this program is a self-funding program. You never go back into your pocket again. Now, this $320 is actually divided amongst 3 projects. Project number 2, number 3, and number 4. So project number 2 gets 50%, or $160. Project number 3 gets $80, and project number 4 gets $80. This is how our donation distribution formula works. The donations are divided amongst 3 different projects within our community. So now, you're going to work with that original 5 projects, and you're going to show them how to do what you did. Spread the word to at least 10 projects within the first week or maybe more, so you can refer at least 5 projects each. So you have 5 projects here, referring 5. So how much is 5 times 5? It's 25, right? Very good. So now you have 25 projects, ladies and gentlemen, and because you qualified by donating this $160 to the second project first, these 25 projects are actually donating to you now. So you have 25 projects donating $160 to your project. That's an additional $4,000. So let me back that up for you. I want to make sure that you understood that. Okay? So you referred 5 projects who donated $200 to you. That's a total of $1,000. Now, you can keep referring people by yourself, and that's fine. You're going to do very well like that. But you want to receive donations from the community, because in the community, we help one another, and you can raise a whole lot more once you're in the community. So you're going to take $320 out of that $1,000, and you're going to donate to 3 projects that came before you. Project number 2, you're going to donate half, which is $160. Project number 3, you're going to donate 25%, which is $80. And project number 4, you're going to donate 25%, which is $80. Now, all this is done by the software, by the way. It does it on automatic pilot. But then you're going to work with those 5, and you're going to help them and show them how to refer 5 each. When they do so, that's 5 times 5. That's 25 projects. So when those 25 projects make this second donation, because you made it first, you qualify to receive that $160 from those 25 projects. And that's a total of $4,000 for your project, just that fast. Okay? So now we're going to go a little further. These 25 are going to do the same thing that you did. They're going to spread the word to at least 10 projects within the first week. And we're going to say that 5 each decide they want to join our program. So 5 times 25 is 125, right? All right, now, but before that happens, you want to receive donations. You want to qualify to receive donations from these 125 projects that are about to come after you. So how are you going to do that? You're going to take a little bit of this $4,000 right here, and you're going to donate to project number 3, project number 4, and project number 5. So how much are you going to take out of that? It's going to be $640, just a small portion. And this $640 is going to be divided amongst these 3 projects. Project number 3 is going to get half, $320. Project number 4 gets 25%, and project number 5 gets 25%. Pretty amazing, huh? So now you're qualified to receive half of this 640, which is 320, from these 125 projects that are coming after you. When these 125 projects make these donations from the third floor down, you qualify to receive those donations yourself now. So how much is that? That's an additional $40,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may be on this call right now, and you may say, well, Mark, all I needed was 5, all I needed was 3, all I needed was 10. All right, well, that's great. You already got it within this formula, but there's a few people on this line that you need a lot more. Maybe you represent a church. Maybe you represent a nonprofit. Maybe you've got some amazing things that you want to do for the community, for your family, and you need more than $40,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the large groups and organizations like about this program and the type of funding that they are looking for. So don't let this blow you away, all right? Just want to show you the power in how this works. So shall I go one more step? Okay, somebody said yes, I heard that. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, for you to receive donations from the 625 projects that are coming after you, because these 125 are going to refer 5 also. 125 times 125 times 6 is 625. Can you see that? All right? So if you want to receive donations from these projects that are coming after you, you need to make a donation to the next 3 projects. Well, how much is that going to be? It's $1,280. Now, this $1,280 is divided amongst 3 projects. 50% goes to project number 4, 25% goes to project number 5, and 25% goes to project number 6. Pretty interesting. So now you're qualified to receive how much? Half of $1,280, which is $640. $640 from these 625 projects that are coming after you. All right? Now, maybe you're on this line right now and you need a breakthrough. You need something amazing to happen in your life. You want to go to another level. You want to do something amazing to help other people. And that's what this platform is all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's a life-changing platform. So here's the numbers. 625 times 640. You can see the numbers on the screen there. All right, now I'm not going to go all the way to the 7th floor, ladies and gentlemen, because you can't handle the truth. All right, those are big numbers, and what we want to do here is just give you an example of the potential of the program. We go through all the other floors when we do a in-depth training. All right, so hopefully you got that. So what makes this so powerful is the power of multiplication. This is why our shared community crowdfunding platform is so different. We use multiplication rather than addition. In addition, that's you going out and finding 5 people who will donate to you. Then you go out and you find 5 more. Then you have to find 5 more. That's direct funding. With cooperative crowdfunding, we leverage the relationships, the connections, the influence, the energy of one another, and it's exponential. This is why the numbers are so large, ladies and gentlemen. Now, some funds are received immediately. Once you partner up with us, we show you how that works. You don't have to wait for your money. Other funds go through what we call the e-wallet, and you have a 7-day delay on that. That's to avoid credit card fraud. Now, we have multiple ways to receive your money. You can have the money sent to your bank account, to your PayPal card, and we also have an international debit card, which is good in 170 countries. This technology, ladies and gentlemen, our proprietary software can be set on automatic, and it will work for you 24/7 worldwide. And the software, ladies and gentlemen, is cutting edge, it's innovative, it has never existed before. The company created it. It does all the heavy lifting for you. It makes the donations for you. It takes care of everything for you. It doesn't get any easier than this. So, you can start with as little as a one-time $50 donation, $100 or $200 donation. Now, we recommend $200 if you can, and it's really simple because starting with a $200 contribution one time out of your pocket can help accelerate the funding of your project 4 times faster. So how do you get the word out? Word of mouth is very effective. You can also use private text messages, emails, private Facebook messages. You can post on social media, and you can set in motion an internet tidal wave around the world that may change your life forever. Remember what the great motivational leader Zig Ziglar said? He said that if you help enough other people get what they want, you can get what you want. This is the power of our revolutionary shared donation distribution platform. We succeed in funding our projects by helping and supporting others to fund theirs. It's a true win-win formula, and this is why we believe that we're going to be the #1 crowdfunding platform in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can start today. You can join for free. You can add your dream project to the website. You can join the community by making a one-time small out-of-pocket contribution to the project of the organization or the individual that referred you, and as a community, we work together to help you raise your funding. You can begin sharing your project with others. You can help others do the same, and you can keep stepping up and sharing it forward. So what's your dream? I think you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that crowdfunding can make it happen fast, taking weeks and not years. So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, the train has pulled into the station, and we believe it's the world's fastest. The only thing you have to decide is when you want to sit. Now, you can sit in the caboose. It's totally free. You write your own project. You promoted yourself. The donations come directly to you. You get 100% of the money. That was our gift to you just for being on the webinar. Just get back with the person who referred you. They'll give you the information. Or you can join the community where we work together to support one another by making at least a one-time donation of $50 to the project of the person who referred you. You can speed the process up by donating $100 one time. You can improve the process 400% faster by donating a one-time $200. It really is that simple. Now, if you have any specific questions about the program, get back in contact with the person who referred you. They will get all your questions answered for you. We're going to make sure that you are thoroughly satisfied in terms of the information that you need. But if you have enough information, go ahead and get started, because one of the things you're going to find out about us, we are doing some amazing things, and you want to get involved as soon as possible before the crowds come in. They have already started. So, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining this webinar. Get back in contact with the person who referred you to this presentation, and you can start your project today. All right. That concludes the webinar. What we're going to do now is do a little bit of Q&A. Excuse me one second here. I am going to stop the recording for a minute.